On the radio station for Afanya and Goa Indigo 91.9. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the gentleman who's in the studio, the man who introduced house music to this country, and I'm super stoked to have Akbar Sami in the studio. You know, he's got so much happening in the pipeline in terms of music, and he's also down for a private gig. So I want to first thank you for dropping by to the studio, Akbar. It is a pleasure to have you here at the studio.
Joy, thank you so much for having me over. Just such a pleasure being here with you.
You know, Akbar, there's so
And
much.
congratulations to you for, I think, about 17 years of...
That's not 17, 2012. So yeah, that's 7.
7 years. Okay, 7 years. Okay.
Akbar Sami has been in the industry. Mine is 7 years, so he's been in the industry for 35 years, and he's not old. He's young. He started at a very young age. You know, he actually. This is what I was mentioning to you. When you drop out of school, those people actually somehow do very well in their respective fields, and they become famous, like you have, and you've been there at the pinnacle of success as well when it comes to DJing. But you were a choreographer in the past, right? That's how it started for you. Everyone knows about your music and the stuff that you do, but tell our listeners, how did it exactly start for Akbar Sami?
Well, like you mentioned, I was into dancing and choreography and things like that. And I had this group called Bombay City Breakers.
Okay.
I've mentioned this many a times, but I'm for the first time in their studio in Goa, so I'll repeat.
Please do.
And I had some great people, in my team, in that group called the Bombay City Breakers, and Arshad Warsi and Farah Khan and Longinus Fernandez and Himu Sinha and list goes on.
Yeah.
And so we were doing dance shows, and it was a great beginning because I was really young. I mean, I didn't even have my mustache and stuff like that, and I was getting some great offers. I was choreographing the Broadway called Son of Bottoms Up for Bharat Dabolkar, and I was choreographing a big banner movie, by this producer director called J.P. Datta, called Hatyar, Sanjay Dutt Shara.
Okay.
So this was then, and within that time, somehow I got into the console. I was pushed into the console to play music, and there was nothing like DJing. So
I think you had to fill in for a DJ. I read about it.
Yes.
Did?
Yes. So the in-house DJ didn't show up.
Okay.
So what happened at that time? The in-house DJ doesn't show up. You're closed. Your shop is closed.
Yes.
There's no music. You have to go home. So this was a 5-star hotel, and the management was really strict, and all of that. And he came running to me asking for help, and he said, Akbar, the manager, he said, please help me out because if it was a Saturday night and it's a full house on a Saturday night, so if I don't run the things here, I'm fired. So I took that whatever he gave me on my head, and I got into the console with him. He handed me over the keys, and I saw the equipment there. There was 2 turntables. There was no CD that time. There was no, all this technology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's no pen drives, and there's no tractor and Serato and all of these things. So, and you're touching this equipment for the first time in your life, and you have to play music. There's a club full of people, about 600 people in there, and I did, and shockingly, Joy, that first night when I played music, I realized that I was mixing music.
Okay.
It was God gifted. It was a miracle. I don't know, whatever you call it, but I started mixing music, and I loved whatever was going on. And the best part was the crowd that night didn't realize that the DJ is missing. And I am a filler who's a non-DJ, and he's playing us, the music, and we are dancing. So, and end of the night, this guy comes and he gives me a hug, and he's giving me the keys to the console, and that's how it all began. And I didn't sleep that night. In the morning, I was back to the club, practicing with an empty club, nobody inside, just me. On the decks, and I realized that this microphone, I have to use this. There's switches and there's buttons and so many things. And I was a self-taught DJ because I didn't have a DJ or a guru or somebody who I could ask a question that if I made a mistake or what is this for? What can I do with that? And how is this done? Nobody. Until I worked after that for about a couple of months and saved my salary and went to London and took a crash course on DJing
Okay.
at the Juliana School of DJs, and then came back and did whatever I had to do.
Well, that was the start, and that was the start to a beautiful beginning to a career with so much to talk about.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm getting messages on my phone. Akbar Sami, seriously, tell him I'm a big fan of his music. This guy's a good friend of mine. He's tuned in right now. So maybe you could give him a shout out. Rojan Misheri, say hello to Rojan.
Rojan Sherry, love you, bro. Thank you so much for writing, and thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love to you.
Well, Rojan Misheri, if you'd like to ask Akbar Sami anything, go ahead, WhatsApp us on 9097 100 919. Anyone out there, you have any questions for Akbar Sami, we're going to keep him. I'm going to keep him here in the studio until 8 o'clock. He's got a gig that he's got to go for.
A long night.
A long night for him. He says it's going to end up in the morning, right?
4
You're
o'clock
at,
in the
at
morning.
the Grand Hyatt
Yeah.
this morning,
Yeah.
this evening. So if you've got any questions for Akbar Sami, hit us up 9097 100 919. We'll talk about his music and talk more to the legend himself. Akbar Sami's with us here at Indigo 91.9. Don't go anywhere.